എന്തും തുറന്നു പറയുന്ന ആളാണ് കേരള ബ്ലാസ്റ്റേഴ്സ് കോച്ച് എൽകോ ഷട്ടോരി. അതുതന്നെയാണ് അദ്ദേഹത്തെ വ്യത്യസ്തനാക്കുന്നത്. തങ്ങൾ ഡച്ചുകാർ എല്ലാം തുറന്നു പറയുന്നവരാണെന്നായിരുന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞ ദിവസം അദ്ദേഹം മാധ്യമപ്രവർത്തകരോട് പറഞ്ഞത്. മലയാളി താരം സഹൽ അബ്ദുൾ സമദിനെ പറ്റി ചോദിച്ചപ്പോൾ ചില വിമർശനങ്ങൾ ഉന്നയിക്കാനും അദ്ദേഹം മറന്നില്ല. കോച്ചിൻ്റെ വാക്കുകൾ കേൾക്കാം.
What's your assessment or evaluation of the performance in the pre-season games so far, the 3 games?
First game in UAE was actually good. We played against a team, a second division team in Emirates, where they were already 4 weeks in training, and we only had 5 days of training. We drew was a good result. It was very, very hot in Dubai. Second game was a game amongst us. The third game was a local team here that we won 3-1, but that was the first game here where I say they play with 6 defenders. Was not a good test. The last game against what is it? Kashmir, yes, that was the first test, but where I also said again, with the backline is not the strongest team. We dominated the whole game. They had one chance. We gave a very stupid goal away, but I got a little bit better understanding of certain players who got tested. So hopefully we get 2 or 3 more good games.
Gokulam Kerala FC is a team based in Kerala, and recently they won a tournament. They are in a good form. Do you have a plan to play a pre-season match against Gokulam Kerala? What are your impressions? Do you know anything about the Gokulam team? Because they have good foreign players, from Marcus Joseph from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, but this is something that's up to the management. I speak with Ishfaq, who knows the people. We're trying to get the best possible teams, and if that's Gokulam, it's Gokulam. If that's East Bengal, it's East Bengal, or whatever. That I'm waiting for answer on who we're going to play.
What kind of a person you are to the players, and if in case of any adverse situation, how do you react and how do you correct them? Or
first of all, I come from Holland, and Holland people, they have one problem. They always say what's on their mind and on their heart. So over the course of time, even I become older, and you learn. You have to sometimes be a little bit more diplomatic, and maybe you say it in a different way. My approach, basically, from the first day when I arrived here, I told the players that see me as your second father first, and then as a coach. That means a father, he is always strong with his son, with his children, and has an arm around the shoulder when it's needed. So that's what I want to see, as long as the player knows that I'm there to help him. I'm not here to be negative to somebody or to show my frustration. My aim is to help a player, and sometimes that can be tough, and sometimes it has to be on a more gentle way. So if you would say that, as I said, see me as a second father first, and then a coach.
Scoring goals is very important in football, that we all know. How important is keeping clean sheets?
Keeping clean sheets is something that gives a lot of confidence to the team. Last year, besides clean sheet, but we had the second best defensive record in the league. Football is based on, it's the same like a house. If the foundation of the house is strong, then you can build the beautiful room, whatever you decorate. But foundation is, and that's the same thing in football, is the defense organization. Part of that is clean sheets. Not always the clean sheet is the most important, but if you have a lot of clean sheet, that says something that you're pretty stable, and it's always very good to build on.
You are here for in Indian football for some time, because you are with Kolkata teams, and then Northeast, and now with Kerala. How are you seeing the transition of Indian football in these years?
For sure, there's progress. You can see that in the national team, but still there's a lot of progress to make. A lot of has to do with, if India really wants to catch up with the nations within Asia, they need to play more games. That means if you're an ISL player and you maybe play some finals, you play maximum 20, 21 games, maybe 2 more in the cup. So let's say 22 games. if 22 games in one season is not enough. If you want to compete on international level, you need to play at least 30-35 games, and that is only possible when the league extends, or you have more teams in the league, or maybe within ISL play 3 times against each other. It could be a solution. But if you really want to grow, you need to play more games. You don't need to be a football professor to figure that out.
Last year, when you came with Northeast United here, you said very much about Sahil Abdul Samad.
Yep.
Yeah. Now you are with the team. What do you think about the local talents?
Go back to the last question. Talents are there, but I can also see, for instance, Sahil. He never played. He's 21 years old. Last year he played with Kerala, but before that he played in Abu Dhabi, I think, in a football school.
Yes.
But to really develop, you need to play competitive matches. You need to play in a league. But, for instance, there are a lot of players who, I will take Rahul KP, who played I-League with Pine and Arrows, young boys who play against big men. They make steps forward, and you need competitive games. You need competition to grow.
What are your expectations, combining the experience and the youth?
In the end, you are married. Are you married?
Yes.
Okay. How long? How many years?
22 years.
22 years. So you know your wife inside out. Your wife knows you inside out. You know the good things, you know the bad things. In football, there's nothing different. It's about building relationships on the field. That means understanding of players. It's my job to put the right players together. As I expressed before, till now we are 5 weeks in. Until now, I was not able to play with the strongest 11. It has to do with the players who went to the national team. Now, for instance, Holy Charan, who was doing really well, he's going to the national team. He has a marriage who has to leave for 6 days. So all these players who are injured, that makes it different. And that's why football, to build a team, takes time. And sometimes you don't get that time. But that's how it is. That's also the same thing for young players mixing with older players. The more they play together. Last year with Northeast, I hardly had changes in the team. Hardly. There are only 1 or 2 because of injury, and I was mostly the centre back. But most of the time, always the same.
How influential will be the fans in the stadium, inside the stadium?
It's fantastic to have good fans. That is always, as you call it, 12 men. Or if you have fans who come to the stadium and support you, always a good thing.